Okay, we are back. We are back. We're going to be on for another 30 minutes and then we'll relay it to... Oh yeah, speaking of London, we're setting up a new group over in the London area. So if you are from London, send an email to gatheringas1@aol.com and there will be a separate deacon that's actually under the church who will lead the people in the London area. All right, so just putting that out there, okay? So make sure you all send an email and we're going to establish a new scenario over there in London. Is it still skipping or blacking out? I think they're just messing with our site on purpose at this point. Look at that. It's just straight black. They're like, listen, we're not even going to let this guy bring forth anything. This is purpose, what they're doing. This is purpose, what they're doing. It's censorship. Someone put the chat. Damn, no. Yeah. It's okay. All right. Hopefully when it records back, usually if it records, when they go look at it back, it'd be better, right? Okay. So you can always come back and look at the archive one because there's a few things I wanted to talk about. I'm going to tell you, what they're trying to do by interrupting our stream is to make it frustrating for you so that you can choose another place to go and view online. Okay, so they do this on purpose. They probably got some guy on the side with a button just hitting it, you know. But don't worry about it. Y'all just persevere and just go through it, all right? And come back and view the archive stream. All right, the audio is fine. Okay, that's all that matters. They can hear it. Okay, let's talk about the... I said I was going to touch on this real quick. How America, over in Colorado, I had a few mails, so I thought I would answer to this. They letting loose the Joker in Colorado. First of all, whoever believe, what's the guy's name? What's his name over there? And the guy they have, the Joker, they painted his hair orange. Holmes, something Holmes. There's a guy named Holmes. Yeah, James Holmes. Thank you, James Holmes. They claim that he went into a movie theater on the opening night of Batman, threw smoke canisters from both sides of the theater. He was masked. He had a mask on. And shot up and killed 12 people and injured over 70 to 112 or something like that. And then, after he did this, he just sat next to his car in total solitude. And the police was able to apprehend him with no resistance. His mask was off at this point, and he had orange hair like the Joker. All right? And then he, after killing all these people in the movie theater, conveniently told the police, whom at first it was reported that he wasn't participating with the police. He conveniently told the police that, by the way, this is where I live, and when you go to my house, be careful, because I'm going to tell you where all the booby traps is in my house that I originally had for you to come to my house. But yet he wasn't participating. But he told, after killing all these people, he was nice enough to tell the police his house was booby trapped. All right? Let me tell you, if you believe this story here, first of all, the people who did this were masked. And see, there's a consistent pattern with these so-called lone gunners. When you look at JFK, when you look at, it's always a lone gunner. Sirhan that killed RFK. There's always these lone gunners who was bugged out of their minds. The guy that shot Reagan, the guy that shot John Lennon. It's always one guy bugged out of his mind, then the story goes away. Timothy McVeigh. These are all patsies who are used after being drugged up to be apprehended after a government crime. It's patsies. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. So now they got the Joker now. And see, they did this purposely so that everyone can look at this and be like, oh my goodness, look at his orange hair. And the people are so out of touch. They will never suspect that this was a setup. What's the setup? The setup now, if you look at the blueprint, same thing during Hitler's time. What happens was, before the national takedown, you disarmed the population. Come to find out, Barack Obama conveniently have signed the UN ban for guns for America. It just hasn't been instituted yet, but it's been signed. So which means eventually there's going to be a civil war. They want a civil war. And the civil war will be a pretext for the UN troops who are already there to come out of hiding with the troops that are instituted throughout the whole country and seize the country. That's the next big thing you all can look for. So copy it. It's recorded. Just remember, we let you know they're about to do this. Everything that come down the pipe, Barack Obama gladly signs. And see, and Barack Obama can do this. Why? There's no pushback. He's black. If white people stand up and say this is not right, well, you're racist. And if black people say, man, what you doing? You a hater. So they done got the perfect guy at the perfect time to finish their program. Let me tell you, George Bush could not do what this guy is doing. George Bush could not have been in a position in which he can sign away the right to bear arms. If you don't have the right to bear arms, then you're open game for all the criminals. That's common sense. And the police are saying, well, listen, that's fine, I got guns. No, buddy, they're all going to be relegated to tasers. All right? See, you have to look at how the illuminous powers that construct this whole thing, you have to understand how they think. There's no separation as far as they're concerned from the police and the normal population. It's divide and conquer. They can take a few dollars, look at the normal population and say, you know what? I'm going to dress up 10% of this population to kill and fight the rest, the 90%. So here it is. I'm going to give you a badge. I'm going to give you a gun. And I'm going to give you some authority over the same people. You're no different. You just got a uniform. But then when the foreign troops come in, your authority have now been taken and you're being thrown right back with the other 90%. That's the plan. This divide and conquer thing has been happening for a long time. The only way any of us can get over this if we see the hand behind the curtain and all come together and say we're not playing the game no more. And we all know that will never happen. But let me show you why they're able to do this. Let's go to Peter's 3rd chapter. Why? Because we're in perilous times. Let's get it. Let me get it here. I think it's Timothy's 3. One moment. We're in perilous times. We're going to end it with this here. I'll open it up for questions, and then I can yield this to Elder Gabar. Got it? 2 Timothy's 3rd chapter. Read.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
In the last days perilous times shall come. Read.
Verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
This is how they're able to get you to buy into the program. There was an agenda to have people love themselves instead of caring about other people. So now you've been separated. Huh? Yeah, Timothy's. 2 Timothy's 3 and 1. So if they can push a movement through music and through propaganda, through movies, to have you just deal with your personal self, then you're detached to reality. You're totally detached from reality. Read.
Covetous.
Covetous. That means wanting everything you see. Look at these movies and look at these reality shows. The women got their bags and they're walking around with their heels, and the guys are, it's just total fabrication. Nothing is real anymore. This is how they're able to pull these things over on you, because you're paying attention to the wrong things. Read.
Boasters.
Boasters.
Proud.
Proud.
Blasphemous.
Blasphemers.
Disobedient to parents.
Disobedience to parents.
Unthankful.
Unthankful. And that disobedience to parents also fall into the spirit of homosexuality. There's no parent out there that want homosexuality for their child. And I see some of these shows now, it's utterly ridiculous. Some of these shows that they're putting out there where a gay guy come and say, you know what, it's time for me to finally tell my father. And that becomes a show. And you understand that people looking and they getting support. His girlfriend is rubbing his back. I'm like, what is this? And then the father coming in there, you know what I mean, this hillbilly, this guy, this strong guy, you can tell he got guns, morality, he dealt with the family and everything. He's looking at his son. Like, boy, what happened to you? Dad, it's something I have to say. I got to tell you. This is the life we live in now, and it's a total distraction. Disobedient to parents. Now a parent cannot chastise their own child without government intervention. And you know what we say? Beat the child. Beat them. Hard. In public if necessary. Okay? This is what the Bible says. Why? Because a child that's not obedient to their parents will not be obedient to the Most High. And listen, I'm the type of guy, listen, hey, it's cool. You can grow up and think you big. I will find something to throw on you. That's my type of deal. We can do this. I can grab tires. I can grab shoes. I can grab sticks. I'm going to win. And people can call it abuse or whatever they want. Why? You would rather get to the child before the world do. They want your child to run loose. Because why? Eventually, they're going to lock your child up and use them in the system and kill and destroy them. So yeah, beating the child is good. Those are beautiful things. You know what I mean? And then I remember one time, Azel was looking at me, man, you're going to kill me. I'm like, yeah. And I was totally happy with it too. I wasn't frustrated about it. He said, Dad, I see the look in your eyes. I'm like, yeah. This is the way it's going down. I remember that day. Like, Dad, you be looking like you want to kill me sometimes. I'm like, yeah, because I don't kill you, but I'll be close. Because you can instill the fear of God in them. Okay? And another thing, if you see children out there acting out of character, if you see a child running around and he want to grab a doll baby, you get a belt. Immediately. Get a belt and say, listen, pink, no. Blue, yes. There's rules to this. The Bible says you cannot spare when it comes to this, because while you're working and all that, the system is actually bombarding them with all these choices, and they think that it's them naturally and organically growing into this individual, but it's a satanic child being raised by the government. That's the point. So you got to monitor all that. Finish reading.
Verse 3. Without natural affection.
Without natural affection.
Truce breakers.
Truce breakers.
False accusers.
False accusers. People that are running around don't even know people, going to talk about people. And while you're doing all this, the Illuminist powers are sitting there like this. I'm going to kill all of you. So you can deal with the distractions if you want. And focus on the things that are not important if you want. Read.
Incontinent.
Incontinent.
Fierce. Despisers of those that are good.
Despisers of those that are good. Now those are straight haters. They'll see someone doing good and want to see Satan in it. Oh yeah, that was a miracle, but yeah, Satan did that. Oh, that was a nice thing, but it's an agenda behind that. You just have sideline haters all day long doing nothing but hating. This is how the system now is able to pull the joker over you now and do all these things to you because you're totally disconnected from what's important. All of us are. Read.
Verse 4. Traitors. Heady.
Traitors. People that'll give you up in a split second. Heady. Read.
High-minded.
High-minded.
Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High.
Lovers of the pleasures of this world more than the Most High himself. Read.
Verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof.
But denying the Most High. Read.
From such turn away.
And that's crystal clear. We're living in perilous times. And while we're being distracted with all this stuff, prophecy is being fulfilled. Prophecy is going on every day on a regular basis. More prophecies to actually keep up with. I'm looking at what's going on over there in Syria right now. Nobody's looking at that. They're looking at the joker. I'm looking at what's going on. Iran is about to arm up. I know a lot of you focus on Russia. Russia is nothing. Russia is a proxy for the European. They're part of the 10 horns. They're not against America. They are together in Roman conquest. They're part of the same agenda. They're the left-right. It's like Democrat-Republican. Now don't tell me that Russia is against America when you can go in America and look at Russian TV. Okay? They're not against America. They're putting it right in your face. There's Russian troops on the West Coast right now prepared to take your guns. Okay? They're together. What you better watch out for is the Medes, the Persians. The Persians are whom and of course the Western world know this too. They didn't go straight into Iran, but look at all the places they took down: Afghanistan, Iraq, around Syria. They're surrounding the last battle, which is the Persians. They're surrounding, they're tactically surrounding Iran for the final war. And that's the battle we need to be looking at within this earth. Because when that battle happens, all their systematic security measures in place will be for a reason. That's when it's going to be tough to travel. That's when all these things are going to go down. But not before. They're going to do this because when it happens, they're going to shut down travel like you wouldn't believe. And that's when the troops are going to say, listen, you got to give up your guns. We don't know who anyone is here. You got foreign troops that are, you got foreigners who live in the country. America is made up by foreigners. So they're going to believe that anybody is a possible terrorist. You could have came in our country 10 years ago and used by Iran or Iraq or whatever the case is. and now they have the internment camps ready. This is what's about to happen right now. So it's time for us to get with the Most High, come together in truth. Even if it's a small unit that believe and understand, that unit need to come together. It's not about 30,000 people believing the same thing. Whoever believes the same thing, come together now while we have the opportunity. Whoever believes the same thing, put down the petty differences and come together. Even if we have to build some type of spiritual alliance where it'll keep someone's position intact. Who cares about a position? We must come together in like minds and prepare for what's about to happen. All right, and that's what I want to say. They got the joker about to get cut loose on you. They signing your guns away, even though a lot of people don't have legal guns anyway in the hood. So they're going to just come straight in the hood, knock door to door. The same thing they did during the time of Katrina. Katrina was a test for what they're going to do nationally within the United States. In England, you can stick a fork in that. They have already they don't have no right to bear arms unless you hunt. Now, what person hunting? I mean, what right? I don't want a right to hunt. I need a right to protect myself from somebody that's looking to hunt me. That's what guns are for. They're claiming that, oh yeah, we give you the right to be able to hunt. People go to supermarkets now. So let's get out of that hunting stuff, okay? They're taking the guns. Why? Because troops know that they'll be outnumbered if they go into these neighborhoods. And these troops are not going to walk into a death trap. They're not going to just walk in and get killed because it's too many people against them. But first they must set up a disarmament, and that's what's going on. There's going to be a little fight. Now, our people, it's a wrap. We're not living in the rural areas. It's going to be a little standoff with the hillbillies and all those down there, and those with the proud rednecks down there in Texas and all those areas. They're going to do a little fight, but I think the drones are set up specifically for them. It's not going to be no battle like they think. I think they're going to be just dropping straight bombs on these militia groups and those that would oppose the government. I think that's what's going to happen there. And the good thing about it, and I know it sounds like doom and gloom, but the good thing about it, as the world crumbles, we rise. That's the good thing. I mean, we didn't volunteer to go to America. Okay? I mean, we were always pilgrims ever since we left Jerusalem in 70 AD. We were a people without a home. We're strangers. So I will gladly say, well, listen, Lord, this is your earth. You made this earth. Wherever you need me to be in this earth, to do your will, I'll do it within the earth. But we're not home, brothers and sisters, until we see Zion, until we are in Israel once again. We're not home. And that's the mindset you must take, that you are a stranger in a strange land and you don't belong. And as long as you keep that mentality and understand that mentality, you'll be able to let go when it's time. If you believe that that house is yours, that car is yours, if you believe that country care about you, let me tell you, you're living in what can one day become your crib. One scripture before we go, and I can yield it over. We got about 5 more minutes, and I'll open it for questions. Hebrews, the 11th chapter. When it tells you about desiring a home. It talks about us desiring a home.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 13.
Read.
These all died in faith.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and our fathers died in faith,
not having received the promises.
They didn't receive the promises as of yet.
But,
Read.
but having seen them afar off.
But they seen them afar off. That means they were able to envision that promise. That's what we need to be looking at. What is the end game for all this? What we will receive once this is all over. Read.
And were persuaded of them.
And they were persuaded of these promises. Go ahead.
And embraced them. And confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims in the earth.
So our fathers professed that they were strangers and pilgrims in the earth. They acknowledged that they wasn't home. And that's how our people have to operate. And say, you know what? This is not home. I was drugged here against my will. I'm not home. You can't be comfortable in a land of your servitude. You're not free until you're able to make choices, sovereign choices under the Most High outside of government. You're not free. Read.
Verse 14. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country.
Go ahead.
Verse 15.
So if you acknowledge that you're a stranger, then you're going to start seeking your homeland. That's the importance of understanding who you are. If you don't know who you are, you're not looking forward to anything. Read.
Verse 15. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country,
if they had been mindful that they were the children of Israel, read,
from which they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned.
They might have had an opportunity to come back. Now tell me, is that deep? They don't want you desiring your home. They don't need you desiring your home. It's counterproductive to the Illuminist plan to get our genetics and to totally destroy us. I want to put this out there for you brothers and sisters too. HIV is a lie. AIDS is a lie. That whole thing is a lie. I'm putting that out there too. That is a systematic program to get you on a drug, AZT, that destroys your DNA and break you down. And then it looks like you're dying from something because you're actually dying. It's the same drug they tested in World War II in Germany. Now they say AZT is the cure to HIV and AIDS, and really it's a DNA. It's a spirit destroyer. It kills you from the inside out and totally breaks down your DNA. There's not one person in this earth that have ever died from AIDS. Okay? You die from an immune deficiency, or you die from a nutrient deficiency, and there's side effects of that. You can get pneumonia, you can get all types of different things because your body cannot fight off anything. And AZT helps speed up the progress. That's what you die from. I want to put that out there because that is a targeted genocide, and they're targeting us with it. Now in your neighborhoods, hey, you think a pregnancy test is convenient? They got an HIV test for you now. You know a lot of them are going to pop up positive. They're going to get you on an AZT drug and you're going to be dead. Okay? Wanted to put that out there for you. Don't believe what they're telling you in these programs, these television shows. Don't believe it. They're going to coax you or brainwash you into going into the system and deal with your systematic killing. And that's it on that. Let me answer a few questions and I'll parlay this to the brother. I'm going to answer questions for 5 minutes and then I'm going to move it to Elder Gabar. You remember you showed me out of another book, another place being called Babylon by one of the prophets. Okay, what's the next one here? Let's see. Let me open this up so I can answer these questions. If you all have questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them. All right. See, I'm going to say a prayer. And leave it to the brother Gabar. Let's see. Let me unpause the chat. Unpause it here.